I'm gonna tell you something. You're not gonna find what you're looking for. You ain't gonna find it. I don't care how good it look. You're not gonna find it. I think it's on. Hey, this is David. I want to knock this video right quick. I know Diana's been wanting me to do it, a couple of things. So hopefully I'm focused right. I just got finished working out. I'm down to 2 days because my first race is June, my triathlon. It's a shorter race, take about an hour and a half. And then the one in August, the main race, is about 2.5 hours. So having to start to work out, do 2 days. So I just got finished doing 2,000 meters in the pool. Took about an hour and 10 minutes. And then this afternoon when Diana gets home, we're going to go back and I'm going to do about an hour on the bike. So it's only for this short time when you're getting ready for a race, you go to 2 days. And after that, I'll go back to 1 days for the winter. You can't train hard all the time. You work it up. You go to a certain limit and then you back off. That's why you stay healthy. Keep your body healthy. She had asked me a question, or somebody asked her a question about something they were wanting my opinion on. I'm looking at this camera to make sure it's focused right. I don't know if the lighting is good or what, but I'm doing the best I can with this lighting. It seems that they were asking her how she and I stayed together through the whole weight loss transformation. I'll make sure I'm speaking loud enough. And I said, what do you mean? She said, well, you know, they're saying a lot of people don't stay together once they go through that transformation. I said, oh yeah, what's up with that? So well, a lot of them get divorced, they split up, whatever. And I go, wow. So I said, the question is, how did we stay together? And my first response was, well, maybe the question should be, why did they break up? Because I'm sure every situation is different. There's no way I could tell, you know, what's going on in everybody's situation. What worked for me and you might not work for them. So I did a little research, went online like everybody does, and I found out that statistically, weight loss surgeries result in an 80% divorce rate. Now we know it's already 50% for the population. Half of all marriages end in divorce, and that figure's probably going to go up. So what does that tell you? In 100 years, is there going to be marriage? Maybe not. I don't know. But right now, it's still around. So I thought to myself, wow, that's a statistical significant. That has statistical significance. 50% compared to 80%. So I looked into it further. It said it didn't matter if it's male or female that did the surgery, or if they gained weight while they were together, or they already heavy when they got together. It didn't matter. Male, female, it's all about 80%. So I said, okay, I can see why people would say, hey, you know, what's going on? So maybe statistically we're just part of that 20% that stayed together. Don't know. But I'll just give you my thoughts and how I felt and what I experienced, then we can go from there. If it applies, fine. If it doesn't, just say it's my opinion. Don't have to agree with anything. You know, it's just a small sample of what's going on. You know, Diana had a surgery. It's nothing new. She was, after our last baby, she had gotten up to 267 pounds. That's nothing. That's not a secret. And a lot of that was from the pregnancy. And I knew she was very unhappy. And then this opportunity came in where she could go have this procedure. So I was all for it, you know, let's roll. Went through the procedure, started doing the day-to-day things that you do after, which all y'all know about that. She's talked about that at length. And I want to make sure I'm looking at the camera, because if I look up there, I'll be looking, damn, what's he looking at? Let me look at this camera, okay? Remind me to look at this camera. Maybe I should put a blinking light right there so I look in the big eyeball. So she went through all these procedures, and as time went on, you know, lost weight, began a little bit more energy, but it took a long time, guys. It wasn't a month, or 3 months, or 6 months, or 9 months. It took several years to get where she was starting to you know, really making some significant gains. Now you lose a lot of weight, but then the first couple of months, you know, it's like any of the weight loss things. You lose a lot of weight, and then it tapers off, and then it's a small amount every day, and that small amount, small amount every week, and that small amount every week depends on, are you being active? Are you watching what you eat? Because if you stop, if you don't, you're going to stay there, or you're going to gain it back. So it's not a cure-all. So over that period of several years, I was able to adjust. Okay, some of the things I noticed as the weight came off, where she got into Wonderland, got into the 190s, 180s, around 180s, 170s, she became a lot more active. You go back and look at some of the videos from just several years ago, 2, 3, 4 years ago, you say, wow, she's lost a lot of weight since then. That's what I mean, it's a long process. It's been 8 years since she had the procedure. So there's been a lot of changes, but it went slow, so it's not like I had to adjust in 2 days or 3 days. It's a long-term thing. So what I think people are saying is, as the person loses weight and they begin to be more active and get out and have more self-confidence, that somehow maybe the other person is threatened by it. I'm not sure what that means. I would have to say that, did I notice all those changes? Yeah, I noticed it. I noticed she began, it's like a flower that's closed up in the springtime, like if you plant roses and there's a seed of the flower in there, there's something in there. See, I'm trying to look back at the camera. There's a seed in there, a flower in there, instead of looking at myself. And it blossoms into something that you know is in there, but you can't see it. Well, so that's kind of like that. The person that you see now was always there, but unable to express herself in a way that she wanted to, because she's hampered, you know. Being heavy hampers your activities sometimes. So she began to blossom. I realized that's just a natural process. Did she blossom a lot? Hey, yeah, she blossomed a lot. A lot of things. Got a lot more energy. Started doing a lot more stuff. Going here, going there. Walking Stone Mountain every weekend. Did I ever say no? No. I said go for it. Because it's like a balloon. You're blowing up there. And the balloon expands. After a while, the balloon can't grow anymore because it's reached its limit. So I know the blossoming or the increase in energy has a limit. It's going to reach a time where, because you can't do everything every day. So, you know, you have to realize that that's going to expand to a certain amount, and then it's going to level off. So if you can go through that adjustment period and it levels off, then you've adjusted to a new plane or a new status or a new level of activity. Stress? No. Trouble? No. Mood swings, some, you know. She's very proud of her weight loss, so was I. Was she more active and did a lot more things she did before? You know, whereas before she might stay at home, and now she's out doing other things, going to meet and greets, going to the Saturday training, working out every day, sometimes here, sometimes there. And yeah. Did I have to accept the fact that I was at home when she wasn't a lot of times? Yes. Did I think about it sometimes? No, but I had to check myself. You know, that's a key when you're grown. You got to sometimes check yourself and see what's going on. And I'll talk more about that in another unrelated subject. So people say, well, did the emotions go up and down? Yes. Was there tension sometimes? Yes. Did I say sometimes, hey, let's chill on that right now and let's spend some family time? Yes. But it wasn't overboard or nuts, you know. Why? Because I was active my whole life. You know, played baseball in high school and college. When I was in the military, I was active all the time. So I had an active lifestyle. Now, when I got out and began to work, I had less time to do it. Thank God I'm retired. I can have more time to do it. And I understand the struggle if you're doing a full-time job, how hard it is to get that workout in. I understand that completely. Is it tempting for the person who's undergone the change to maybe step out and experience things, and you know, they're getting this attention from work? Diana gets attention, should I say every day? That might be right. Somebody says something every day. You've seen the video, people falling around in a darn Best Buy or whatever. Does that bother me? You know what, guys? Absolutely not. Don't even look at it, because that's just who I am. That does not bother me. I don't care in the way that some people might care or get jealous. because that's just what comes with the territory. When you make a change and you start feeling good about yourself. See, that's the key. You feel good about yourself. So when you feel good about yourself, your energy is apparent to all those around you. Then they, you know, some people like to feed off of positive energy. Nothing wrong with that. But sometimes they do it in the wrong way. So as that energy flowed and all that, you know, me as the spouse, I just had to deal with it. No big deal. Why? Because I've seen a lot worse things. It's, you know, what if, I don't want to give a personal examples, but what if a spouse who underwent the surgery said, you know what, I'm sick of this guy or girl or person I'm living with. I'm going to get me somebody better. Could I have done anything about that? Say she wanted to walk. Hey, Dave, you suck. I'm going to go be with somebody else. What could I do? Couldn't do nothing. People are free. They want to leave, they're going to leave. I can't answer those kind of problems. So if you're in a situation where the person who went through the procedure walked on you, I don't know what to tell you. Makes me want to know why were they there. Can't really do anything about that. All I can do is if you're a spouse of the person who went through the procedure, you just got to be ready for the long haul and be ready for the stuff. It still goes on now. She still gets stuck sometimes. You know, if she eats late at night or later at night and lays down and hasn't let it gone through like she needs to, she'll get stuck right then and run to the bathroom. I know what that's all about. It's not nearly as like it used to be because the eating habits are pretty much leveled off. Everything's about the same. Here's the thing. If two people are together, I'm going to talk about this later, there's a reason. And it's incumbent upon those two people to understand where they are and where they're going. What do I mean by that? Everybody talks about love all the time. Is there such a thing? Yes. A lot of times what people call love is, oh, I feel it. It's an emotion. This is true. Many times, you know, if somebody does something nice to you or whatever, you've been together a while, you're gonna feel that emotion. It's the stuff in your bloodstream flowing through, and you get this brain high. It's the way the body works, and that's the way it should work. And you feel this high. Oh, I'm in love, and that's not, I'm not downplaying that. That's very important. That's what brings people together, and that's what makes spending time with somebody enjoyable, because you have those feelings. But as all feelings, they come and go. Some days you feel like, everybody knows it's been married more than 10 minutes. Some days you feel like you're in love, and other days, damn, why did I marry this person? Right? Am I wrong? So what is that? Well, one day where, oh, I love you, but the next day, damn, why am I with this person? What is that? That's the emotional side as it swings from one peak to another. You got the highs and you got the lows. So, is that love in its truest form? Personally, it's a stepping stone to a higher kind of love, but it's not what's going to keep people together. People are together if they want to be, and not I'm telling you, and not everybody's going to choose to be together in the next 100 years. But if people want to be together, they have to go, in my opinion, remember guys, my opinion, to the level of what you said when you stood there in front of whoever and said, I vow to be with you here, here, there, there, and all that, for better or worse. That is a higher type. God forbid anything bad happen to people, but you know, there's a commitment there that if you can keep a hold of that, say your spouse, you know, is acting crazy and running around and enjoying, you know, they had weight loss and they're out here doing this and going there and doing that, and you're feeling abandoned or whatever, you know, take a step back, look at it, and think about, you know, it's temporary. You're like the home plate, you're the home base, like a rubber band, right? They're going to come back because you're there. And what is that called? That's called commitment. Everybody has their own spiritual beliefs about how we all got here and how where all we're going. But I can tell you, after my life, there is something, maybe magical is not the right word, but maybe divine, I don't know, about how things work and how people are constructed. There's a divineness there, and if you are able to express a committed kind of love, you're really, in my opinion, partaking in a higher divine sort of thing. Imagine this. You have kids. Y'all know what unconditional love is if you have children. Because you love them, good or bad, whatever. It don't matter. I remember when I was single. Many, many years ago, you know, I grew up in a big family but didn't have children of my own. So I'd be on a plane traveling wherever. And I hear a baby crying. Oh, Jesus, I got to be on a plane trip with a crying baby. God help me. How did I wind up with it? Especially if they're in the row next to you. That all changed when I had my own children. You know, I'd be flying and, you know, I'd have my own children. They wouldn't be with me, but I hear a baby crying. And yet that thought, oh, Jesus, you know, why am I here with this? That thought doesn't come to your head no more. What comes to your head? Oh, the baby crying, something wrong with the baby. I hope the baby feels better. Is the baby tired? Is the baby hungry, irritated, contained, need to get loose or whatever? It's a whole nother thing. Why? Because you've experienced a different kind of love, which is love not for myself and what I get out of it, but love for the person and what's best for them. In Walmart the other day, this woman was pushing the baby around. This baby was raising holy heck. Just screaming. I mean, making a scene. You could tell everybody that was a parent in the store because of the way they reacted. As if, oh, wow, that baby's having a bad time, bad day. We all get mad. Take that baby back to the car where it should be, or beat the hell out of that baby. No, it's not like that anymore. It's like, okay, that baby having a bad day, you know, like all babies do. And it's a different kind of thing. Same thing when you're married and that emotional love, you know, without exception, most people when they get married, it's something to do with, now don't crucify me. It's something to do with we getting something out of it too. Am I wrong? Well, I love you, but you love me back, right? Love you too. If you say I love you and you don't hear love you too, but damn, what's wrong with him? I didn't get nothing out of it. Should you get something out of it? It's not wrong, and it's great when it happens, but I'm going to tell you something. If you've been married more than a minute, some days you don't get it back like you think you should. And see, that's a big mystery. You're dedicated to a person. Make sure this thing is on here. You're dedicated to a person for a long time. That some days you go, wow, I give all this and I give nothing. You know what? Did that thing just cut off? No, it's still. Forgive me. And you don't get it back. So we learn eventually that being married is not 50-50. Y'all know this. I'm not saying anything new. It's 60-40, 70-30. Some days it might be 80-20. Oh, heck, I'm giving 80%, I'm giving back 20%. That's the way you might feel when somebody's going through the weight loss surgery. You might feel, I'm giving all this, I'm putting up with all this stuff and this and food and working out, and I'm getting nothing. Okay, that's that feeling. What do I get out of it? Maybe nothing at that time. But all things come to those who wait. You got to take the next step up and say, you know what? I'm committed. I'm gonna ride through this. We're gonna see what happened, because say you split and goes, oh, I can't stand you no more, I'm taking off. I'm gonna tell you something. You're not gonna find what you're looking for. You ain't gonna find it. I don't care how good it look. You're not gonna find it. What you got to realize is the best thing I got is right here in front of me, and I got to deal with it. You got to make a mental decision. It's not emotional. It's, dare I say the word, spiritual decision. To stay? Does that mean you stay in the worst of circumstances? No. If I robbed a bank tomorrow, of course that's an example, and went to prison for 5 years, I wouldn't expect nobody to stay with me. What I'm saying is we all have circumstances, and I'm sure some of you do, where the person walked and nothing you can do about it. I can't do anything about that. All I can do is tell you how I feel. So when the rough patches came, which really didn't bother me that much, but I still had that background, I'd say I'm committed. Because I built something, I'm building something, and it's not them that needs to do something. It's me that needs to make sure I'm straight and I'm full within myself and I'm happy within myself. Because if I'm happy within myself and full of what I need and developed the way I should be, I'm going to have plenty to give. Does God, if you believe in God, have plenty to give? Where does He get it? Or whoever. Where do they get that energy to flow out to other people and expect nothing in return? Nothing. Because it comes from within. Why does it come from within? Good question. Maybe you should think about that. Where does that come from? Where does that power come from to love unconditionally? And I'm not saying I do. all of us fall short. And all of us have our bad days, and all of us do the wrong things and say the wrong things and get angry, whatever. I'm not saying that. I'm saying that it's incumbent upon all of us to reach up to that higher level and say, you know what, I'm committed, good or bad, can't tell the future. Something horrible could happen. But for right now, today, you know, I've always quoted Jesus a lot because that's the way I was brought up. You only got today. You don't have tomorrow. You don't have next month. You don't have next week. Sometimes it bugs people when they say, well, next year I'm going to do this.